Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Let me see who's here first. Lydia Washington. Thank you so much for being here first. Yes, and that is the link for the membership. If you're so inclined, um, memberships start at just $4.99. Okay. Okay. Now, which brings me to something since I'm thinking about it. Some of you all have been doing your memberships directly through the PayPal and the Cash App, which is perfectly fine. But in order to use like the stickers and whatever little features that you see on the YouTube, um, the only way to have access to those are through the YouTube. So if that is important to you, then you may want to consider just logging onto the link at the top of the chat there, and that will give you access to all of those fun features. Yeah, and I have no way to um, make that payment go toward the. At least I don't think so. Not that I've figured out so far. So just so you know, that's how that's done. Okay. Let me take that away. And I'll say hi to the rest of you as I go along, like Church Nelly, Bon. Um, oh, really? Okay. Well, that's interesting. Thank you, Catherine Ernst. Let me see. You might be in the wrong place if that's the case. Yeah. I get the feeling that you might be in the wrong place. Can't stand Meghan. She is a phony, nasty personality. So why are you here? Why are you here? Or should I say, why did you used to be here? Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Let me see. Ban user and delete their comment. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you so much for the engagement, but bye bye. Anybody else? That's right. Suited and booted. Anybody else? You know what though, you guys, I'm not so bothered by it because um their standard bearer, Catherine the Great, has this lack of work ethic. Catherine, who chooses to not work, a woman who allows herself to have been outpaced by a terminally ill Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth worked more with bone cancer than Kate works with her. Um, I don't even know what to call it. I don't even know what to call it. I don't know that there is a name for what Catherine has other than lazy. Yeah, I think that's it. Just lazy. A lazy individual. And they try to convince us that she's very athletic and outgoing. Um, it's breathtaking what little personality that either of those two that are destined to have their day in Westminster Abbey. It is breathtaking how little, how flat their personalities are. And I don't pretend otherwise. I'm just saying what some of the people, as a matter of fact, who have been writing these incredibly charming things about them for the past few years. If you went back and you looked at some of the things that they wrote in years past, you would wonder what changed? What changed? And we all know what changed. It is to the spite of someone of African descent. That's it. That's it. The air of white supremacy has entered the conversation, and that is what changed. So, yeah, you can feel whatever you feel about Megan, but you should really put that energy toward cheering that other one over the finish line because I don't think she's going to make it. She's already been banned from a what was that? It's like one of the favorite nights in the royal family where they all gather and meet with the foreign dignitaries. What is it? I guess the ambassadors night or something. It's like everybody's favorite night, which reminds me, oh, you know what? I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Let me just keep it moving for now. But thank you so much. That actually gave me a little boost. Whatever I was feeling a little, I don't know what I was feeling, but now I got a little bit of a boost. Born out of your ignorance, of course, but I've just gotten a little boost. Oh, I can't stand making. Then why are you here? Why are you hate watching? And then what gets me, you had to wait 7 days to say that because, of course, I got the troll spray on. So you had to wait 7 days to give me that engagement, which means that's what is this? Is this the seventh or the eighth day? I'm not sure, but either way, I'll take it. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to pray for you. Let's see. Vaughn says, Baron, ban all troll dolls. Their powers will not work here. Here, here. Thank you so much, Vaughn. And that is so true. They have no power over us. They have no power over us because I'm going to just say it as I've said it so many other times. We're on the right side of history. We are on the right side of history. Oh, you know what? I forgot to include that slide. I totally forgot. Did I use that one? No, I did not. Let me see. You know what? It's not too late for me to insert that one into the stack. And I'm going to do it right now. I am going to do it right now. Yeah, that person just reminded me. Or did I? I guess I did not. No, I did not. Because they actually had an article about that. The monarchy is in deep trouble and could end. This greedy habit may be their downfall, predicts eminent royal expert Ann Wilson, or is it A.N. Wilson? And I believe, I suppose that may be true because the rot starts from the inside out. And while we know who they're going to try to blame it on, they're going to try to blame Meghan, of course, but we all know that it's good old fashioned greed that is going to cost them. You see, here and there, they win these little battles, and I do mean small battles, because they're a distraction. They really are a distraction. But ultimately, they are going to lose the war. It doesn't make sense. And I tell you, I haven't said this in a while. It hasn't come up in conversation, but as Church Nellie knows, I was there at Troop in the Color back in 2018. And just so happens I had a conversation with the people around me while we were waiting to see the royal family. And I just casually said, when this goes, I'm sorry, when the queen goes, all of this is going to go too. And the guy, and looking back on it, I feel kind of bad that I said that because I didn't have enough reverence for it to realize that I probably hurt a couple of people's feelings when I said that. But it's true. I felt, and I still believe that this is unsustainable without the queen. And I didn't mean that in a way to disparage anybody or, you know, but I just felt a certain way about it. And so, okay, when do I want to talk? I'm going to talk about that last. So, pardon me while I take this away. I'm going to take that away and then bring it back again with the other two slides attached to it. Um, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring it back with the other two slides attached to it, and then I'll talk about that one last. But yeah, so just to conclude what I was trying to say is that I just felt very strongly that when the queen goes, I said, all of this is going to go too. And the guy was like, you think so? I said, yeah. I said, this is unsustainable. And I still feel that way. I still feel as though it's unsustainable because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. This idea that these handful of people are worth $500 million a year because it helps to center us and bring us together during times of trouble and strife. Well, right now the country is in trouble. Rome is burning, and Charles is twiddling his thumbs. Charles is dressing up in stockings and garters and stuff. That's what's happening. So I still feel that way. I still feel as though it's unsustainable. It doesn't make sense, not in the way it is now. I think that Spain, with their 7 million euros a year royal family, makes way more sense than the £500 million a year royal family. The Spanish royal family is not maintaining over 22 estates. They're not, with public money, protected by public security. They're not doing that. I don't think any royal family in Europe it lives so well. Even what is it? Liechtenstein, Monaco. Their deal is very different, but I don't think they live that extravagantly. Okay, so thank you again, Vaughn. And I think there is another. Kathy G. Jealousy is the tribute mediocrity pays to genius. Listen to you. I love that. Thank you, Kathy G. And thank you for 34 months membership. Okay, so we'll talk about that later, because I had totally forgot the slide that I was supposed to add to these. So, as usual, there is the countdown to the Sussex Christmas. Harry and Meghan, although they're not doing it as much this year, but usually they abuse us with, and it is very abusive because it's it's insinuating that something that is so far-fetched could possibly be true, and then repeating the lie over and over again as though there's some possibility that the Sussexes are going to go home at Christmas and there's no way back. You know the language that they use. They did not get an invitation. They have extended them an invitation. Harry has not responded. Will Meghan go? Will she not go? We have gone through this over and over and over again. And I think that they finally have given up on it, especially when you hear that, was it Catherine the Great or was it William who declared that they were going to have the rival Christmas? I can't even remember now, but it was some mention that there was going to be like some separate or rival Christmas. Yeah, they're going to all do the walk for the church, but usually they stay at the Sandringham estate for Christmas, which is why we saw that car racing out of there on the 28th of December last year, going to the hospital, which again is not supposed to be an emergency. But then again, it wasn't supposed to be cancer either until it was, and then all of a sudden it was not. So, but this photo, this illustration, I think it does like the best job of depicting what a Windsor family Christmas looks like. Except for this, of course, is Harry's birthday, but still, the genius, whoever created this, because it pretty much sums it up. A bunch of backstabbers trying to get you to look the other direction, I suppose, or something. But yeah, genius. I love it. That's what I was looking for. Church Nelly loves when I talk about my adventures in Europe. That's what I was looking for. That's why I said, as Church Nelly would tell you, as Church Nelly has reported on several occasions. I'm going to have to get that video out. The video that I took of the Queen while I was standing in front of Buckingham Palace. This way, you will have the feeling of what it's like to be there. It is, when I say it's a big fat nothing burger, unless you're like there to see someone in particular, like Harry and Meghan. Um, the Queen was just very stoic, and this was after Philip had retired. So um, she had that resting monarch face. Yeah, kind of yeah, it wasn't, it was exciting, don't get me wrong, it was exciting because I felt like, wow, this is something that you only see on TV. But then at the same time it was just like there wasn't much excitement for the Queen. I don't know why, maybe because of her kind of stoic appearance, people didn't feel as though they could cheer her on or something like that. I don't know. It's a very strange thing. Yeah, I know, Marsha. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while. Okay, let's go on. So there they are. I'm so proud of those two executive producers, Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. They are executive producers. And of course, producers are going to produce, right? That's what producers do. They produce. This is one of my favorite things right here. One of my favorite thumbnails. I um I don't remember where I found the lettering from. I found it somewhere and then I just kind of threw all this together. But yeah, this is one of my favorite. It's like amongst my thumbnails is one of my all-time favorites. And I don't use any software for the thumbnails. I just kind of grab images from here, there, and everywhere, and I just kind of throw them together. So I don't know. It probably would be better to use the software because it. I think it grabs more attention. But I don't know. I like my little quirky thumbnails. And of course, there it is, a Netflix sports series, Polo, which starts December the 10th, only on Netflix. Only on Netflix. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I haven't been this excited since Oprah's farewell season. Usually, when I say that, a little drool just kind of rolls out the side of my mouth. I haven't been this excited since Oprah's farewell season. Ah, but it's true. I haven't. But yeah, so we'll just have to wait. We'll just have to wait. By the way, is anybody going to see Wicked? I was listening to some stuff about that earlier. Just curious. Nah, there you go. There's the money shot. There's the money shot. By the way, Church Nelly, you were not here yesterday, right? Because I had some. Yeah, you were here yesterday. Because I had some. What do you call it? Some nacho treats for you. Um, like this one. Yes. There we go. Yes, Nacho Figueres, International Man of Mystery. It was Delphina's birthday, but for some reason, there seems to be more images of Nacho here. How careless of me. Oh, there it is. Happy birthday. Okay. But that was for you, Church Nelly. All right. So moving on. Aha. This is this is where I get the goosebumps right here. Executive produced by Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Executive produced by Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Yes, yes. Huh? Huh? I cannot wait. Okay, Legs. I did do a little research about that, and I get it. Thank you very much for the super chat. I did some research, and that's why in the title it says, "Y'all told me so." Y'all told me so. Y'all told me so. I guess I wasn't paying attention. I didn't know. Yeah, y'all told me so. There we go. Harry and his brother Nacho. They look more alike every day. They look so much more alike every day. Sometimes I can't even tell them apart. Of course, Nacho has that very aristocratic air about himself anyway. So that explains it. I mean, after all, Nacho is, the probably one of the more famous polo players in the world, if not the most famous right now. So, yeah. Brother from another mother, absolutely. So, oh, let me get over here so I can make my screen bigger. Uh-huh. Every Prince Harry and Meghan Markle show and movie coming soon to Netflix. Yeah, so they have this article that points all of them out. All of the movie and TV projects from Netflix output deal with Archwell Productions. And if you take a look to the right there, it says Archwell Production, run by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, is engaged with Netflix in a multi-year output content deal to produce movies, series, and specials. Here are all the currently available projects as of 2024. What's coming next and what's rumored or confirmed to be in development. Over the years, Netflix has struck huge deals with various production companies, showrunners, and producers to make content exclusively for them. In September of 2020, Netflix gained global headlines with this big deal with Archwell Productions. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex signed a comprehensive output deal with Netflix with their newly formed production company, with some sources stating that they were offered 100 million for the deal. The deal runs through 2025. Archwell's website, which also lists the pair's efforts outside of Netflix, states that Archwell will utilize the power of storytelling to embrace our shared humanity and duty to truth through a compassionate lens. You know that weirdo should have waited before they. You know, why would you start off the why would you start it off? This is the strategic point where that person should have expressed their feelings about Megan. Don't you think that way it would have been more of a distraction? I'm just trying to help the next troll. Don't start at the beginning. Wait until I'm in the middle of something like this and then throw some shade, okay? Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right. That way you can get the maximum reaction from me. Woo! That way you can get the maximum reaction. Okay. Check 1, 2, 3. I had to make sure the mic is still working because sometimes I hit one of them high notes and it just goes out. So I think we're still good. But yeah. So I'm just saying next time hold it until we get further into it, okay? Okay. So take a look there. You have the Harry and Meghan docuseries, Live to Lead, Heart of Invictus, Polo, and the one that I didn't know about. What is Bad Manners? Now that one is not out yet, but what is it? I have no idea what bad manners are. I guess bad manners are when you go onto someone's YouTube channel, right? You go to a Sussex friendly safe space and you start off the whole thing with some cock and bull nonsense about how much you don't like Megan, you can't stand her, and you don't even have the decency of waiting until we get all warmed up. You just started from the beginning. How rude. Don't you think that was rude? Can't stand Megan. She is a phony, nasty personality. I've fallen and I can't get up. Probably some old cat lady. I've fallen and I can't get up. I don't know how I'm going to feed all 80 of these cats. I can't stand Megan. She is a phony, nasty personality. I've fallen and I can't get up. I still cannot believe that happened. I hadn't even got warmed up yet. And then here comes this person. Oh, anyway, you guys, you see what we go through. You just sitting up there minding your own business, ain't bothering nobody. And then here comes some pensioner, some retired person, probably with gang affiliations. You know, the Gray Panthers, those mean old people that I think they're on the FBI watch list, to be honest with you. But just mean old people. Um, yeah. I can't stand mean people. Anyway, what was I saying? I was talking about the bad manners. I never heard of it. So I'll be looking forward to that. It looks interesting. It looks interesting. At least they have some kind of poster or something. I guess that'll give me something to do is look that up later. And then, of course, Meet Me at the Lake. That is, I don't think that's gone into production yet, but it gives us something to look forward to. I've fallen and I can't get up. So, that's that one. Let me go to the next. There we go. So, Live to Lead. Okay, I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched all of those. And of course, Harry and Meghan, I devoured that. And Heart of Invictus. It was an emotional thing as far as I'm concerned. Very emotional. The Heart of Invictus. I love that. Um, so yeah. So we'll have some stuff to look forward to. All right. And to continue, um, I just had to do that again. Executive produced by Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. I may actually print that out and hang it on the wall so I don't forget. You know what I'm saying? Executive produced by Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. If you would have told me on that day in May of 2018 when they got married that they would be living in California working as entrepreneurs, um, what else? Philanthropists, and what else? Anyway, if you would have told me that, I wouldn't have seen that coming. I'd be like, I don't know, what would they do? And it seemed like they had an excellent plan that they formulated after their families made so much trouble. Meghan and her wacky family, Harry and his wacky family. Something good had to come out of all of the stuff that they have been through, and I think we're there. I think we're there. We're not almost there. We're there. Lex says, "What is Ford Fiesta slash Ford Escape opinion of Harry and Meghan's success?" Um, you know, I think that steely stare that she gave Meghan at the funeral says it all. I think her opinion is one of jealousy, um, because she really is stuck. She's going to follow Kate for the rest of her life, or who's ever comes first, or at some point she may have to follow William's children around, right? And that is a very odd place to be. It really is. In that she came into that family, um, a businesswoman, not a very good one by all accounts, but she had her own business, she had her own life. And now she looks at the back of Kate's head, and as a matter of survival, she must touch Kate on her back to reassure her, more like reassure herself, of her role, of her place in the institution, to try to drum up enough support so that her son might inherit the father's title, which does not seem to be a thing right now, because when Edwina goes, the title goes right back to the crown. They don't get to keep it in the family. So, um, yeah, I think she had a lot of ambition, right? But Ford Fiesta, well, she's just that person that follows Kate around. She may as well be a lady in waiting. Thank you so much, Lex, for the super chat. Oh, Marshar, we all know what that's about. I told you the other day when that person, gosh, I forgot what the post was, but I went into her post on her Twitter, and it was all MAGA stuff. It was all MAGA stuff. Um, and the greatest hits of Democrats that they loathe and have accused of being some of everything you could think of. But that's what occupies their Twitter. There's no information about anything good, right? There's no public service whatsoever. Like occasionally I'll share something very educational on my Twitter, something I found interesting and I thought someone else may find it interesting. It doesn't have to always be about Harry and Meghan, which is exactly how we've done things on this channel, right? They don't have that. Their channel is Will and Kate good, Harry and Meghan bad. Charles and Camilla good, Harry and Meghan bad. Sophie good, Harry and Meghan bad. That's their world, is the two extremes, from one extreme to the other. That's all they have. They don't share anything else, unless it's about, MAGA stuff. But nothing else. Nothing else, as though they have no joy in their lives. They're angry. They're bitter and angry. And somebody needs to say it. They're bitter. How bitter are they?
Bitter. And somebody needs to say it. Bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter.
They're just bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter. Oh. Connie Balmer. Thank you so much for being here, Connie Balmer. All right. Let me continue. Connie Balmer, you missed it. We had a troll at the very beginning today. Now, Prince Harry strutting onto a football field in Canada has gone viral. Well, Prince Harry was kind of walking like Wesley Snipes in Passenger 57, which is always a good thing. That's a good look for him. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see which. Oh, this is it, right? Is this it? Oh, no, that's not it. Okay, wait. Let me find it. I don't want to use the rough draft. I'd rather use the one that I prepared. Okay, that's yes, this one. Okay, well, we'll just do both. Okay, definitely not that one. I just want to make sure I get the one with the right angle, and I don't think that's it. So let me try another one.
But I was very let down.
Okay, cannot allow the music. Okay, that's not it. I think that's it. All right, let's try that one, shall we? That's it. That's it right there. Slow motion.
Thank you for serving your great couple together. We'll all be cheering on Team Canada as they represent our nation at the Games in February.
Walk. Walk. You better walk. All right, you better walk. You better walk.
Team Canada as they represent our nation at the Games in February.
Well, what could I say? The last time any guy has walked like that, I would say the first time was Yul Brynner in Westworld. If you know, you know. The second time was Wesley Snipes in Passenger 57. The third time was Harry at this football game. Yeah. If you know, you know. There was something about Yul Brynner in Westworld that made the movie memorable. Yeah, he played the hell out that part. Yeah, otherwise, it was just some weird sci-fi thing. Good though. But there was something about that walk. And then, of course, one of the most underrated movies ever, Wesley Snipes and Passenger 57, which I seem to be obsessed with. I promise you, I've only seen it one time. And then, of course, there's Harry. Harry has a certain little swag about himself. And I would say to some degree, I remember also that Obama on occasion would have that little thing going for himself too. Yeah, I almost forgot about that. Obama seemed to have a bit of a swag going on. So yeah, some people just got it. That's all. Okay, so it says here has gone viral as he was praised for his clear conscience. The Duke of Sussex watched Toronto win the Grey Cup and gave an interview about his Invictus game tournament for wounded veterans over the weekend. One fan picked up on his walk. He stepped out onto the field, editing it to the hit song "The Boss" by James Brown. Oh, I don't think I've ever seen that one. I'm gonna have to go look for that. But it says it's on X. Huh. I don't think I saw that. Anyway, this article was, I don't want to give them a plug. Oh God, I'll do it anyway. It was in Newsweek. That's where this article comes from. It was from Newsweek. God help us. I remember Newsweek was such a good magazine, and they just destroyed it with all of that right-wing stuff. When will this culture war end? How come people just can't get along, huh? Oh, you ready to mix it up, huh? Did we catch the name? Well, I mean, if you scroll back to the beginning, you could see it. But you ready to mix it up, huh? Yeah, if you go back to the beginning, it was like Yeah, there it is. Catherine Ernst. Catherine Ernst. That was the name. Yeah, so I did click on it, so it will be on the screen. Catherine Ernst, aka pensioner, aka cat lady, aka angry MAGA Brexit um Karen. Yeah, aka Karen. Unhappy person who don't like to see other people happy, right? Who calls the police if somebody walks on the grass, even though she lives in a apartment building or maybe a care facility or something. But and most importantly, a cat fancier. A cat fancier. Okay. Now, where let me take that away. And there we go. So, now this is how you handle GB News. Matter of fact, this is how you handle any of those hateful people. They were trying to get this very proud black man, Ed Sheeran, Sheeran, not what am I saying? Nails Abbey. Ed Sheeran ain't black. You could see from his Twitter account that he's a bit of a cut up. See there? It says Nails Abbey uppity, just in case people didn't catch on. Uppity. Apparently, somebody must have used that term against him at some point or whatever, and he decided to take his power back and put it on his Twitter account. Well, he writes for The Guardian, as you can see. If you wheeled my dead body onto GB News, I'd get up and walk out. You can read my Guardian piece on Band-Aid and Berlin conference here. Okay. So Band-Aid, I think they're talking about that Christmas concert, right? Right? The fundraiser for AIDS research or whatever. And then the other, the Berlin conference, that is when the European powers all met in Berlin and sat at a conference table for days trying to figure out how to subjugate, how to rob, how to colonize the African continent, right? How to impose things like borders, to create borders where they never existed before. That Berlin conference. So he wrote an article about that, I think. Probably a good article. I should go and check that out. But anyway, he says he got a tweet. I think it must have been in his messages on his Twitter. It says, "Hi Nails, I hope you're well. Would it be possible to set up an interview with you on GB News this evening about Band-Aid?" And he said, God, that's kind of small. Let me see. He said, "Hi, Sophie. Thanks for reaching out to me. Believe me, I know how hard it is to land roles in media, and I don't begrudge you from earning a living, but GB News is a deeply racist platform, explicitly so. It does without saying, I'm sorry, no, it goes without saying that I would never consider appearing. Disgusted to be asked. Nothing against you personally, so by all means, feel free to contact me when you land employment at an actual news outfit." All the best. Nails. Yeah, he nailed it. Nothing against you personally. So, by all means, feel free to contact me when you land employment at an actual news outfit. Oh, I love this guy. I love this guy. Absolutely. I love this guy. By all means, contact me when you land what did it say? When you land employment at an actual news outfit. Ooh. Uh why is my sides hurting now? Huh? Why are my sides hurting? Why is my face numb? Why is the corner of my mouth touching my ears? I don't know. Maybe because I'm smiling. I have been completely amused by this exchange. Uh, uh, I am completely amused by this exchange. But he's telling the truth. GB News is like a poor man's Fox News. It's like Fox News with a much lower budget. If you were to produce a news channel or something that pretends to be a news channel, if you were to produce something like that, you would take the budget of Fox News, right? And you would, I would say, take only about 2 weeks of that budget and use it for 1 year of programming and call it GB News. You get what I'm saying? You get me? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Ooh. uh, I love this guy. I hope he's never been shady toward the Sussexes because that would really disappoint me. But I'm living for this one. Okay, let's continue here. Now, this came up today. Speaking of GB News, you know what? I didn't even plan to put these back to back, but I guess it was meant to be. GB News, iconic car brand close to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's heart undergoes woke makeover. Au contraire. You guys, you know how the Oldsmobile was branded an old man's car? The Buick became the old man's car. The Lincoln was dubbed an old person's car. Even Cadillac, an old person's car. I think the equivalent of that in the United Kingdom would be the Jaguar, kind of an old person's car. Jaguars have been notoriously a high maintenance vehicle. And yes, they do have their performances in terms of vehicle handling and such. They do have some models, just like Ford, Oldsmobile, Buick, even Lincoln, Cadillac. They do have models that are sportier, faster, all those things. And yet, basically, it's an old person's car. And nothing demonstrates that better than the fact that I'm showing you a picture of Queen Elizabeth II in her Jaguar station wagon, or what do you guys call it? An estate wagon or something like that? It's an old person's car. The Royal Muse actually has a Jaguar limousine. They have an old limousine that is a Jaguar. So it's an old person's car. It's a relic of a time gone by. And the idea that they are trying to associate a the car that Harry is seated in was, or I'm sorry, that Harry and Meghan are seated in, that Harry is driving, was assembled back in 1967 or 68, I think, long before either one of them were born. And as Legs has pointed out, wasn't that Charles III's car? Make it make sense. Exactly. That is not their car. Now, this is a prototype. It was an ICE car, internal combustion engine, an ICE car, but they stripped away the gasoline powered engine and replaced it with an electric motor. And so now it can do 0 to 60 in, I think, 5.5 seconds or something like that. So yeah, they actually fiddled with it and made it much faster, and it is considered to be a very green vehicle. The only thing it ain't is Harry's car. It ain't Meghan's car. It does not belong to them. This was on loan from Charles III. That's it. This car has nothing to do with them. They borrowed it so that they can have that very cinematic conclusion to the wedding, where they drive off to the reception in a very sporty roadster, right? The equivalent of the two of them mounting a horse and riding off into the sunset. Well, in this case, they hopped inside of this two-seater and went over to the, what was it? Was it not Royal Lodge? Over to the Frogmore House, not Frogmore Cottage, but Frogmore House. I believe that's where they had the wedding reception. And that's the end of their association with this vehicle. I don't think that they've used it anyplace else for anything else. Right? And yet, GB News, for the sake of clickbait, of course, they don't even show you the car. Unless you don't even know what car it is. You don't even know what day it is. What's the occasion? It was a wedding day. Meghan had made her wardrobe change. But, as a matter of fact, Harry did as well, because he was in uniform, and I just realized he's not in his uniform. So, yeah, there you go. Not even their car. But never miss the opportunity to lie and then make it into something that it's not. So I found this Jaguar E-Type 0. Okay, it's not technically the king's, but you can bet he had a hand in organizing it, given he's such a good pal with the royal warrant holder at Jaguar Land Rover. Following Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's glitzy wedding, the couple were whisked away to a reception in the iconic 1968 Jaguar E-Type that had been retrofitted with an electric motor and battery, good for 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds, and 170 miles range. That's not so bad. Sadly, the concept was just a one-of for that big day. And SK says, at this rate, it's no longer laughable. It's very concerning how Meghan and Harry Harry and Meghan rather, gets inserted in a BS, in any BS going just to keep the hate train going. I'm surprised they've not found a way to make them responsible for 9/11. They're working on it, though. They're probably working on it. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for 38 months membership. Thanks for everything you do, Baron. Well, thank you so much for being a fantastic moderator and very supportive to all of the Sussex friendly spaces. Okay. And thank you for the super sticker. All right. So I totally missed this. I have been when I go onto the uh, Archwell website, if I don't go on from a link from the actual, you know, photos or whatever that was shared, then I can never find the latest stuff. So that's how I missed these. Right. So these are the actual photos that were taken, I believe, by Archwell, because, of course, they usually have their own photographer. And usually their photographer takes a much greater quality photo than we get from other sources, I think. I think. Plus, the photos are really part of the story, and they tell the story in a way that is most complimentary and, of course, the most truthful, seeing that it doesn't have any spin on it. It's just events as the Sussexes have been part of it. So, like this photo, I haven't seen that one anywhere, but it's on their website. Yesterday, Harry, the Duke of Sussex, what am I saying? Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, made a notable appearance at the Grey Cup in Vancouver, taking part in a symbolic jersey pass that highlighted the growing momentum for the Invictus Games, Whistler, Vancouver Whistler 2025, held in British Columbia, plays the annual football championship is Canada's most watched sporting event. I had no idea. You know what? I had never heard of the Grey Cup. I didn't know that there was anything like that. How many leagues do they have in the Canadian Football League? Just out of curiosity, if anybody knows, how many teams do they have? And how often do they play? Do they play about as often as the American teams? So, just asking. Okay. All right. So there's that. And then there was the other one that I missed. This one, Unconquered School Day. Now, we did see a bunch of photos from that event, but we didn't see the official, um, you know, Archwell photos. So I want to say I've seen this one or something close to it. Never saw this one. Never saw that one. And I know occasionally they will take photos. Some of the newspapers, magazines, they will take the photos directly from Archwell's website, but I don't think anyone shared this one. This one I did see. I have not seen this one. This is that moment when they got those backpacks, which were gifted to them from the Invictus games. So they were given not backpacks. Those are like little fanny packs. That's what that is. Those are fanny packs. Well, they got their little fanny packs, and it included tickets to the opening ceremony, I think, where they can bring one friend. So it is a +1 ticket for the children to go to the Invictus Games. And then this group shot. Um, I don't think I've seen this one. The other one that was going around, Harry was sitting on the floor in the front. This one, he is in the back of the crowd. So I do invite you to go on to the Archwell website. They do have a website, and you can see stuff like this and a whole lot more. They have written descriptions for everything, so you can get the information directly from Harry and Meghan instead of it being filtered through a bunch of nonsense and opinions. That doesn't happen on their website. They just tell the story as it's represented. Oh, and this is the last one for that one for the school day. Okay, we're good. And take a look at that. Obscene anger after cost of King Charles's coronation revealed. About 20 million people in Britain watch King Charles crowned at Westminster Abbey on TV. Substantially fewer than 29 million Britons who had watched the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II in 2022. So his coronation, a day for hope and optimism, didn't have nearly as many viewers as the Queen's funeral. Almost a third of the people that watched the funeral actually watched the coronation. About a third of them. That's about a third of the people who have absolutely no use for the Queen consort. Yeah, that's what cost that audience. And a few other things. But yeah, remember, oh, everybody loves the royal family. They bring so many tourist dollars. Most of the people that travel do not use the royal family or any royal family as a consideration when they make plans. If they want to see a castle, they will go see it, whether someone lives there or not. The Palace of Versailles dwarfs most royal residents when it comes to annual visitors, if not the most visited royal residence in the world. But there is currently no sovereign as head of state of France. And France, I do believe, is the most visited nation in the world, along with Spain and Italy. Spain, Italy, and France. Those are like the big three. Those are the big three. So don't believe me? Look up the statistics. Now, London and Paris get about an equal amount of visitors every year, more or less. But overall, far more people visit uh, France, and they do not have a royal family. So that whole story about how the royal family helps to drive tourism, they do not. They absolutely do not. Okay. All right, let me continue. Another little close up. Might as well take a good look before it ends. Now, as I said, you guys told me so. I did some research on the Cynthia Aviro, and it's true. She the people have a love-hate relationship with her. There are some people that absolutely adore her, and then there are some people who just simply do not, for whatever reason. Um, yeah, that shocked me. That really shocked me. Although I shouldn't have been too shocked because, as I said, it didn't seem like she had as big a following in the US as I thought she did. But and then it also seems kind of like she just came out of nowhere. She just came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, she is the toast of Broadway or the toast of whatever. Um, I think she should try to stay off of social media, or she should, at the very least, yeah, just stay off of social media. She's very honest. She's very honest about her feelings, and that has rubbed a few people the wrong way. I think it would probably be better for her to just stay off of social media, to have a publisher take the reins of the social media. I would recommend that to anyone who is kind of reactive. Yeah, kind of reactive. So, and that's just a small part of it. Uh yeah, I read about that too. And it's not just about her, but there seems to be this thing about Hollywood choosing English actors to play civil rights leaders, to play historic figures. It's almost as though there aren't any qualified black actors in the United States to take this role or that role. It seems as though they feel they're in safer hands, maybe. They feel that there may be a more professional, like method actor type of deal with someone from um, the United Kingdom, someone from Britain. And that has caused a lot of apathy amongst black people in the United States. A lot. So it's a very emotional issue. A very emotional issue. But that's not the only thing. There was a few tweets that she made that called into question, what do you mean by that? That kind of thing. Um, I saw a couple of tweets of hers where she referred to African Americans in so many words as using ghetto language, right? And so occasionally, and you know what? I'm going to tell you though, I don't suppose it's just because she feels a certain way about African Americans. I don't know how she feel about African Americans, but this is the problem that a lot of entertainers get into, especially women. They have like the glam squad. And the glam squad is usually made up of women and gay men, right? And it's something about white gay men that love to mimic the words of black women. You understand what I'm saying? They get very girl friendly. It's like if they choose to be a performer, right? If they choose to do a female impersonation, they don't sound like the typical white woman. They talk like a church going black woman or some, hip black woman of some sort. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that some of the entertainers, when they are surrounded by these glam squads, they start sounding very American black, in particular, like a black woman. And so I saw a guy who was a businessman, right? And his business was helping people become citizens in other countries. And he used the term "yas," right? Well, where does that come from? That's kind of like black drag queen talk. "Yas, you go, girl." That kind of thing. And if she was an American woman, an African American woman, it would sound more authentic coming from her. But because she's British, I think it sounds a bit contrived. And some people have taken offense at that. And even worse, she's tweeted and said ghetto in exchange for and of course she's doing that, I believe, to set the tone of the conversation, to demonstrate this is the type of vibe that I'm giving out right now. And some people felt it was very offensive. So I see what the problem is now. I see what the problem is. And it's like it's a big difference if someone from outside of the country, outside of the black experience, um, you know, an American, African American experience, if someone outside of that, even if they are of African descent, it can seem very offensive. I don't know if she meant it to be offensive, but it's like almost like condescending or mockery. So yeah, that is a big problem. That is a big problem. And it would be one thing to say it, but if you're tweeting it and describing it as ghetto, then that's going to rub some people the wrong way. So I read a bunch of stuff. I read a bunch of her tweets and such, and I'm just like, okay, I can see where that's a problem. I can see where that's a problem. And then when you mix that with um, the use of British actors, and by the way, these are superb actors, all of them that have come over here to work have been superb. But it seems as though it's at the exclusion of black actors in the United States. And that, again, have rubbed some people the wrong way. It's a very odd version of this foreigner is taking my job. This immigrant is taking my job. But that's what it feels like. So I hope I'm saying this in a way that you all can understand because it's kind of new to me and I wasn't there from start to finish. I'm just catching up on little bits of it from the interweb. And yeah, so that's it. I just want you to I don't have an opinion about it at this time because I don't know the context of what was said. I've only know that it was said and I could see why it's a problem to some people. Uh okay. May I recommend the 3-episode Peacock show Eat, Slay, Love? There's a British black girl then that there then that will 100% prove Barron's point. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Yeah. 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 It's I think using that verbiage, right, is dangerous. It can, especially for someone who's an entertainer, right? Which means that you have a very big platform, and it's just so easy for these things to be taken the wrong way. So I can't even speak to what her feelings were in that moment, but to the people on the other end, it felt very uncomfortable. And this is just, or should I say, it's not just for her, but you I mentioned, like, okay, a drag queen, a female impersonator. I'm not talking about people who are transitioning um for their, you know, life. I'm talking about people who dress up to entertain. Amongst that, if you ever watch drag races, um I think that a lot of these the white, especially the white entertainers, they adore the empowerment that black women have. I don't think they do it to be shady. I think that I think it gives them a backbone to portray themselves, not, I don't mean portray themselves, but to conduct themselves, to act and you know what I learned also just a couple weeks ago? Mae West. Mae West hung around a lot of black people. Mae West was only Mae West because of the black people in her life, because she would go to some of those shows in Harlem. She was from Brooklyn. You would have thought that Mae West was from the South, that she was a Southern belle. Well, obviously she wasn't, because she always sounded like she was from Brooklyn. But the character she created was a black woman. She was this bleach blonde, and contrary to popular belief, she had a bad built body, but she created a character that was based on a black woman, a very sophisticated, sharp witted black woman. And I think that that's what a lot of the white female impersonators have done. Some black people take offense to it. Some black people take offense to it because they're still white men, right? They may dress up as a woman, but they're still white men. And they still have all the empowered, all of the advantage, all of the privileges of being a white man, even though they're doing female impersonation, because they're only putting on this characterization as a means to entertain. But anytime they choose, they can strip it all away and go back to being an empowered white man. And so I'm using this to explain why some people find Cynthia offensive, because plain and simple, she's not one of us, right? As the song says, they ain't one of us. So it's very tricky. It's very tricky because I don't think that everyone who has adopted that black woman personality, the hip, you know, sister girl personality, I don't think that they all do it to be offensive. But I think if you are tweeting it and saying, this is how I'm saying this, then it's going to be offensive. Does that make sense? I hope this is making sense to everybody. Please let me know, because I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. Let me see. You know, and as I think about it, Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley was more talented channeling a black man than he ever was just being this white kid from the South. I guess the word that I'm not using is appropriation, right? I'm trying to stay away from the word appropriation because appropriation has such a negative connotation to it. When I do believe in so many cases, people don't mean to be offensive. I think a lot of people appropriate because they are attracted to a particular part of a culture, a particular group. And I think when they start making a lot of money, and in particular, when they forget where they came from or how they got there, then that's when it goes from being, oh, that's cute, to that is pretty effing offensive. Oh, okay, Bill Clinton. That's another good one, Bill Clinton. Okay, let me see. Cynthia is bringing a British classism mentality to her view of black women, especially the self-made women that came from poverty, etc. Okay. Well, you know what, Mary H. One of the best things about the black community is that no matter who you are or what your circumstances, you could always find some sort of refuge in the black community, because as long, and I've heard this explained by a white man who was pretty much raised by a black father, if you could believe that. Not, well, not a black father, but a black family. Um he lived between both worlds, right? And he said that with white people, there's always a lot of suspicion, even about other white people. He said, but with black people, you put your cards on the table and say, this is who I am. And people are just like, cool, long as you don't bother me, I ain't got a problem with it. Um, and maybe that's because the black community has always been so marginalized, and you know, every sort of vice you can think of, if you think about it, every vice that you could think of always ends up in the black community, because the law enforcement in most of the communities across the country have mostly been white for most of the history of this country. And so the stuff that they would not tolerate in the white community ends up in the black community. And so some of the, people that are white that have lived in poverty or have been considered from the wrong side of the tracks, I believe, like a Elvis, like a Mae West, they start picking up on our ways. And some people monetize that and become very successful. It's a much broader conversation, so I'm just doing the best I can for the moment. But let's see. Leg says the problem is the degeneration of African American culture, but wanting to. What is that? The degeneration of African American culture, but wanting to monetize it, monetize from it. Tandy Newton learned this the hard way. Oh, okay. I didn't even think about Tandy Newton, but yeah, she's another one. She's another one that ended up with all these black roles. Thank you for that, Leg. I totally forgot about that. But I have to try to find an interview where she talks about that. Yeah, and I really like her. I love Tandy Newton. Let's see. Lindsay Patterson. I love being a Royal Sussex fan. Oh, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it is troubling that they will bankroll these projects almost exclusively going with a British black actor, a black British actor for the lead of these roles, the lead roles of these projects, and excluding African Americans as though there is no black theater to be found across the country. And I'm very proud to say that there have been a lot of people, a lot of black actors that have created these actor workshops and such to encourage the growth of that community of actors that could seek out these roles. But if you have these big roles available and you're not giving them to black Americans, then how are we ever going to have that experience in the future? Who's going to be the next Denzel? Yeah, it's a lot to think about. Let's look at a couple of these. This is so wrong. Same people that will shout racism at a white man, not realizing how damaged they are themselves. It's not new to some African Americans are jealous of. Ugh, whatever that means. I don't know. And then this one, oh, this is one of the tweets, isn't it? Let me see. I suppose I should really make an attempt to record signal properly something, hugs, or attempt to sing it to me. And she says, what ghetto American accent, baby? You know, I got you. I'm a singing it. Oh God, that's bad, isn't it? Oh, that is bad. Yeah. Oh, that's bad. Oh, let me see here. Oh, okay. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Let me see. I know we talked about this yesterday. which is why we're here today. And so this is just one of the things that I found yesterday. Well, this is Cynthia Evero wants to play famous Black Americans while disrespecting Black Americans. That's my issue. And then right here, at the time, Wicked star Cynthia Evero's disturbing tweet about African Americans landed her in deep trouble. Yeah. Well, you guys, I have not seen any of her movies, right? And I knew that this is the only thing that I knew is that she didn't seem to have a big following. I saw her sing at the Kennedy Center Honors. Um, that was the first time I had ever seen her. And if you would have asked me what her name was 10 minutes later, I wouldn't have remembered because I was like, oh, she's got a good voice. And that was that. And so I did not associate her with Harriet Tubman. I didn't know who played Harriet Tubman. I didn't know that was her. So I haven't followed her at all. She's new to me, pretty much new. But after seeing the body of her work and the fact that she didn't seem to have much of a US following, I was like, I wonder what that's all about. Now I know. Okay. Something just flashed from my computer. So uh let me see. I think I'm okay. Yeah. I thought maybe the Wi-Fi or something had got weird. So all right. Just making sure you all could still hear me. Okay, now Amber Rowan, you really reaching back. Folks, the whole entertainment industry does this version of step and fetch. I mean, look at how Black women are represented in the rap videos, love and hip hop. Amber Rowan, let me tell you a real life experience I had where I was so ashamed. I was so embarrassed. I was so hurt. All right. So, as you know, we used to have something called television, and that was all we had. And so I'm turning through the channel, and occasionally I would catch bits and pieces of Maury Povich. I would catch bits and pieces of Jerry Springer, right? Rarely did I ever sit and watch the entire show, especially when everything was baby daddy, baby daddy, baby daddy. And there was a girl that was on, I think it was Maury Povich, was it? And this was before they called it twerking. I don't even want to say what she called the dance that she was doing. And when I saw this, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And on national television, do you know I turned off the TV, went in the bedroom, and had to lay down for a while. That's how much that bothered me. That this girl was degrading herself on television, doing this dance that does not belong outside of a nightclub. I mean, a dance that was just so messy that I thought for sure I had caught something just seeing it. I had to go lay down. I had to go and lay down. So, yeah, sometimes all I can say is my people uh, okay. But I had to go lay down. It had upset my sensibilities. I was I was horrified. Uh let me see. Raises his hands nervously. Then I say, "Can try." Let me see. Okay. Yes, please, Queen. By the way, Beyonce is much older than Nala. Now, okay, let me say this. I did not cut these tweets out myself. These are how I found them. I'm assuming they're authentic, right? I'm assuming they're authentic. So let me just say that. Let me caution. I'm assuming these are authentic. Beyonce is about 12 years older than me. You're 30, sis. Beyonce is 35, not that much apart. Okay. Just saying, where you get 12 years from. Now, listen, this girl needs to stay off of Twitter. She needs to stay off of Twitter. She needs to stay off of social media. Get a publicist and maybe filter some of these things through your publicist. And maybe you'll get your EGOT. You'll get your EGOT. Still might get your EGOT, but I would say stay off of that. Stay off of that Twitter. About 12 years older? Seriously? Well, I've had my eyes open, you guys, and it's because of you all, because I didn't know that this was a thing. I had no idea that this was a thing. Okay. I'm just looking at some of your comments. Let me see. Hattie McDaniels, Denzel Washington, Holly Berry, Will Smith. Only Denzel Washington went on to more movies of Maine's. That's why he makes his own rules. Okay. There's got to be more than that, though, right? Um. Oh yeah, Forrest Whitaker. He has an Oscar, right? Okay. Oh yeah, and Sidney Poitier, Whoopi Goldberg. Jamie Foxx. Okay. Well, I knew it was more than 4. uh, okay. This is so wrong. I did that already. I suppose I should really make an attempt to record it. Okay. I did this one already. Okay. We did that already. Let's continue then. Now, let's get on to this, you guys. This is something that just kind of jumped out. Um, in the middle of looking at all the other stuff, I found out that this was a thing. Now, on the left is the poster for Wicked the Musical as it appeared on Broadway. Very stylized poster. I love it. I love that poster. On the right is the poster for the movie, the major motion picture Wicked. And in that one, you can see Cynthia looks directly into the camera, right? Now, there was a bit of controversy about this because some people who loved Wicked the musical thought that that was improper to have Cynthia looking directly at the camera, or at least the fact that you could see her eyes. So Cynthia took offense to it. She said, "This is the wildest, most offensive thing I've ever seen. Equal to that awful AI of us fighting, equal to people posing the question, is your blank green? None of this is funny. None of it is cute. It degrades me. It degrades us. The original poster is an illustration. I am a real life human being who chose to look right down the barrel of the camera to you, the viewer, because without words, we communicate with our eyes. Our poster is a homage to not an imitation. To edit my face and hide my eyes is to erase me. And that is just deeply hurtful. So if you look on the left side, let me drink some water. If you look on the left side, you can see what's bothering her. In the original photo shoot, her eyes were visible. One of the fans of Wicked decided to alter her image to make it look more like the illustrated poster. Here's a good example. On the left is the original, and on the right is the reimagined poster. The other thing that you may not notice is that her lip color has changed. She's gone from the green lips to the red lips, which is more in line with the poster. Her eyes are hidden, just like the illustrated poster. And also, you see much less of Ariana's face, just like the poster. So, whoever did this, I do not believe that that person was being malicious. I believe that person just preferred that. And also, if you notice, um, Cynthia's face seems to lack emotion, right? It's almost deadpan, if you ask me. Whereas the poster, there's a sly grin from the witch in the poster. You see that? See how the one of the corners of her mouth is up? Her mouth is askew. Kind of like Kate Middleton mouth askew. Her mouth is askew. Also, you may not have noticed this, but with the reimagined poster, notice how Ariana Grande's face has been obscured even further by her hand, whereas on the left, her nose is showing. On the right, they have moved her hand up. Now, to me, this is much to do about nothing. This was a fan. This was a fan who edited the photo not to hide Cynthia, but who wanted it to appear more like the Broadway musical poster. That's it. And so now it has turned into this big thing. I just think that you're doing a world tour for a major motion picture and you take the time to go onto social media and have a meltdown because one of the fans of the movie decided to alter the poster. It's not official. Be different if it came from the studio. So I don't know. I thought it was a bit much in considering. Now, as for the other thing, I think she's perfectly okay, let me just show it to you before I say it. Let me show it to you before I say it. Uh if you're going to be angry, this is what you ought to be angry about. This is what should trigger you. That's what you ought to be angry about. Instead of going after a fan, why don't you go after the Daily Mail, the Telegraph, and whoever else? That's who you should be angry at. Now, so far, I haven't seen any tweets about that. Yep, I haven't seen any tweets about that. Going after a fan is punching down. Going after the newspapers, now that makes more sense to me, especially British newspapers. You're British, they're British, and they eliminate you from every front page, and all we get is crickets. All we get is crickets. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I can understand why this bothers her. I get it. But I only see that a person was being creative. And other people, because see, unless you've been to Comic-Con, if you've ever gone to Comic-Con, some fans are purist about characters. And in this case, even the artwork from the musical, they don't want things to change. They do not like things to change. And so when you take a poster, and I'm just going to say it, I think that poster is very stylish. It's one of the things that captures you is that you notice that you don't see the eyes of the witch, of the green witch. You don't see her eyes. And so it's just like it pulls you in. It makes you wonder, you know, it makes you very curious. And it's not to say that there's anything wrong with the other poster. But I actually prefer. I just I think that that is stunning. I just think that's stunning. That's just my opinion. I think that that is absolutely stunning. That makes me curious. The other one, and now let me tell you something that's going to surprise you. I thought that the anger was about the picture on the left side, not the one on the right side, because the one on the left side is so deadpan that I don't like it. I don't like it. It's almost as though, and I hate to say this, but it's kind of dead eye. It's like a vacant look. It's like a vacant look to me. It is very dead eye. I don't read any emotion from that. The one on the right side is like, girl, let me tell you something. The one on the left side is almost like she's ignoring the message in her ear. So that's just my opinion. I can understand the disappointment and even hostility that she's probably feeling because it's her image. And maybe that was something that she, wanted to I don't know. But I just think we ought to be more concerned about major newspapers from your country of birth. They have just given you more shade. Now tweet that. Tweet about that. Exactly. Exactly. It really draws you in. So um I get it. I get it. But I just thought that this was a bit of an overreach. None of this is funny. None of this is cute. It degrades me. It degrades us. I'm like, really, girl? It's just a fan. Now, I'm going to move on from this soon. Let me see. How much do I have left? Oh, I don't have much left. Just that thing that I added. Remember at the beginning, I said I was going to put that slide up. I just got 2 slides after these. Okay. Now, what was I about to say? Hmm. I done lost my train of thought. I just totally forgot what I was going to say. It was about this though. Um. Oh crap. Oh well, I forgot. Slipped my mind. Was it something that someone said that was? Uh, Let me see. Why does the wording have to be on her chest? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, but it's the same way on the Broadway poster. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I know what I was gonna say. Um, the odd thing about this um anger over a fan altering the poster. Did you guys know that Wicked the music was actually developed because of a fan of The Wizard of Oz? It was actually because a fan wrote a prequel. In other words, someone loved The Wizard of Oz so much that they wrote a book about the life of the two witches before Oz, right? And that is what was adapted into a musical, which has been adapted into a major motion picture. It was born out of the imagination of a fan. Just like altering this poster was something that was born out of the imagination of a fan. So it really goes full circle, doesn't it? This is really a full circle moment. It is, and also it is always about the fans, because without the fans, you don't have a career. You don't have a career without the fans. The old saying, without you, I'm nothing. The only thing that's good for them that are, making these things is that there's so many more people that will, see your work and love you, as opposed to those who will walk away and never look at your work again. So with that, you're lucky. So the odd, person who doesn't like you, oh well. But yeah, so that's it. That's what I wanted to say, is that the whole concept of Wicked was because of a fan's imagination based on the original book by Frank S. Baum, which became a musical created by MGM? Yeah, that's it. So there you go. Well, you guys, I'm just going to say that you all have been fantastic. We have covered a lot, and we have been very respectful and very responsible in our comments. And that's always a good thing. I hope it's like that more often than not. Now, let me go on to the last couple things. There's this. The monarchy is in deep trouble and could end. This greedy habit may be their downfall, predicts eminent royal expert A.N. Wilson. So I'll talk some more about that tomorrow. And again, it is because of money. It is the root of the destruction of the House of Windsor is money. Jealousy, backstabbing, palace intrigue, all of that is part of it. But I think in the end, it's going to be the money. As a matter of fact, that's how they got Al Capone, was because of taxes. And if taxes could bring down Al Capone, we're going to find out if it can bring down a kingdom. But for now, it ain't looking good because people are wising up to it. And today, there was yet another thing about the Queen and Meghan and the Queen. I didn't even bother to do anything for that, because it was one of those things they're going to keep rinsing and repeating over and over again. And they only do that because of desperation, because this family is in deep trouble. You have a half-wit on the throne with their side piece. You have an imbecile and his lazy wife coming onto the throne next. And then, of course, we don't know what kind of world we're going to have when one of those children, George, becomes king. But for now, it's not looking good. This is a disaster of their own making. Queen Elizabeth stayed on the throne way too long. And Charles, well, dare I say Charles, didn't have much of the nurturing from his parents. Instead, they let him run amok. They let this man run amok. And the thing is, because he will be king, he did not have anyone to keep him grounded. He didn't have anyone to keep him grounded. The only person who ever seemed to speak to him was Louis Mountbatten. And I promise you, I don't want to know what that conversation was. I think I would probably need penicillin to hear the entire conversation. So I don't know what that conversation was. But yeah. So I'm just going to watch. I'm going to make popcorn or whatever and just watch this soap opera. And it is a soap opera. It is truly a soap opera. And I'm glad that the Sussexes have removed themselves from it, because nothing good is going to come of that institution in the near future. That much I'm sure of. I am sure of that. Today is Republic. Tomorrow, who knows? There may be some prime. They might get a prime minister one day, a very popular prime minister, one whose popularity exceeds that of any member of the royal family. And God help them after that. Yeah, God help them after that. I think before it would be out of the question. But if they ever got a prime minister that was very popular with the people, someone who could take from the rich and give to the poor, they would be in a whole lot of trouble. They will be in more trouble than what they are now. So who knows? That day may come. Yeah, she's down in that storm shelter. There's a storm shelter at the St. George Chapel. She's down there in that storm shelter. Her and Philip, mom and pops, the ashes of Margaret, all of them are down in there. Yep. Just waiting for Charles and Camilla to be laid up on top of them. I tell you, the Queen was not perfect. Queen Elizabeth was not perfect. But I wouldn't wish Camilla being stacked on top of me on my worst enemies. My worst enemies, I would not want Camilla, the Queen consort, stacked on top of them for eternity. Yuck. Yep, down in that storm shelter. Hey, you know what else is down there? Bags of potatoes, basic dry goods, aged cheese. They use it kind of like a lager, salami, stuff that can get you through the winter months. Canned peaches, jam, intermittently dispersed between those ornate coffins. They have, canned goods, stuff to get you through a monsoon. Anyway, I'm through, y'all. Say goodnight. I'm through. Here, here. Absolutely. Elizabeth was 25, ready for the job. Charles is 73, unprepared for the job. What else y'all think is down in that storm shelter? I'm guessing a whole bunch of mason jars filled with preserves, sacks of potato, bags of flour, um, stuff to get you through the winter months. Some hard salami. Maybe some sugar, bags of sugar, bags of tea, like big sacks of tea. When I picture that little shelter they're in, that's what I think of, is like a bunch of dry goods. No, Adrian Burrow, they're pickled. They have been pickled and put into big tin cans. They put them in those lead things so that that doesn't happen. Well, Madeline Jones, thank you so much for being here. Yeah. And they got some of those, they have those crackers, those little like for the soldiers, or like one of those emergency shelters. They have like little biscuits that could last for 30 years, right? And for Princess Anne, they got some Newports in a can. They got to take that key and twist the can open. That's the kind of stuff they have in there, just to get you through whatever danger. Like if the castle ever comes under siege. The Zapruder film. They probably got the Zapruder film down there. Yeah. I'd be interested to see what's down there. There's no pictures inside, of course, but I'd be very curious to see what was in that little storm shelter. Yes, those military crackers. Thank you. This is a very morbid conversation, and I think that that is a good cue to call it a night. Love you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. This has been a very interesting conversation. And like I said, you guys have been very informative. I didn't know about that other stuff, but now that I see it, now it makes a lot of sense. I can see that there is a pattern. I'll just say there appears to be a pattern. Thank you, Connie Balmer. Okay, that's a wrap. And let me put this back on my favorite thing. Those executive producers. I adore those executive producers. Like they're my own kids. I'm so proud of them. Okay, cheers. And if that troll that started earlier is still here, go to hell. All right. I've fallen and I can't get up. What a pain.